Good morning. We've talked the whole night through.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. It's great to stay up late. Good morning. Good morning to you. When the band began to play, the stars were shining bright. Now the milkman's on his way. It's too late to say good night. So
Good morning.
good morning. We've talked the whole night through.
Good morning.
Good
I feel like, honestly, we got some good stuff. I think we just gotta be a little bit more intentional about what we're trying to talk about.
Good morning. Good morning.
Slightly.
could be grander than to be in
What?
Louisiana in
Good morning,
Good morning. We've
Are you recording? Why are you
good afternoon,
Good morning.
Good evening.
and good evening.
When we met,
I'm not gonna say that on stage. Oh, I said it.
Ah, peace to you, brethren and sisters. Thanks for listening to the podcast. We're happy to have you with us today on Podcast
Nation.
Podcast Nation. No, Podcast numero.
Oh!
Podcast number one, Podcast
Podcast number one.
Nation. We're really thankful that you're listening to us right now. We're also questioning your life decisions.
Very judgmental right now. Lots of judgment coming your way from our table viewers.
Just why? Why would they be listening to us?
Just a total waste of time.
I'm really heavy.
We've spent a solid 3 hours working on this, so.
That's a good chunk of time.
Yes, it is.
We deserve the ears of the people.
Yep, listen up, folks.
Here we go.
Listen to our silence.
So I started this recording without Al knowing. So that's a great start to our podcasting careers.
Yeah.
But that's how you get him in the moment. Al, you never know what he's going to say. And if you can catch it on the audio,
Then you have blackmail for the rest of my life.
that's what I'm going for.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, podcast number one, the career killing podcast.
Because this will most certainly kill our careers in furniture sales as well as finance.
It'll for sure define our careers.
It will define our careers, probably our lives, probably our children's lives into generation after generation. This will be what defines us as human beings.
Wow.
In the eyes of society.
Wow.
This is a big deal. I don't think, when we first talked about this, I don't think you realized how... I did. I understood the gravity of this.
Wow. No,
I don't know
I
that you
did. I did.
Did you?
This is life changing.
Well, I questioned it, but now I'm glad you said that.
Well, yeah, I'm into this.
Okay.
You're into this.
Well, clearly.
And everyone listening, thank you again for listening, is into this.
I would surely hope so. If they're not, they've already turned it off. So.
All right, let's start
Everyone
talking
who's
about...
still here.
Thanks for
is into this.
thanks for sticking around.
Thanks, all three of you. Thank you very much.
We're gonna start talking about something useful right now.
Okay.
So stay tuned.
So this podcast is called The Informed Dutchman Show. Why? We're not going to dig into this too deep. It's really not that complicated. We both are of Dutch descent. West Michigan, very Dutch community. Obviously, there are lots of other communities within our community that are not Dutch. I'm losing my train of thought.
That we're hoping to cater to as well,
Right.
essentially. And this podcast is going to be a pretty general look into business in West Michigan, entrepreneurship, big word, real word,
I think so.
in West Michigan.
It can be.
It's gotta
We're going to
be.
make up lots of new words in this podcast.
It's worth a lesson.
Just for the new words.
New
Eventually
words.
get
You're
the
going to learn a
listeners.
lot. You're going to learn a lot from this podcast. Sports, to a certain degree, we're hoping to get into, because me and Al are huge sports junkies. That's not going to be the main focus. It's not a sports show by any means, but our first guest that we had lined up is kind of
a big sports guy,
Kind
you
of
could
a-
say.
a teaser. What? Tease. We're not going to tell him who right now. That's for podcast number 2.
Yeah, keep you coming back.
One
Keep you coming
more.
back. Just at least one more episode.
At least one. Podcast 2.
If we have 2 episodes, success.
Yes.
Success. That's our goal.
That's all we're hoping for. But anyways, what's the gist?
What was I going to say?
Why are people going to listen to our podcast? Because of business, entrepreneurship, sports.
Honestly, we grew up in West Michigan. This is where we live. This is our home. We are building careers, raising families. This is in this place. This is our community, and we want to give a voice to young entrepreneurs, but we also want our listeners to be able to learn from those folks who have made it in this state, in this side of the state, and hear their stories and how they built their businesses and their careers and how they got involved in the community. So it's really a very broad range of topics, but we're going to try to condense it and make it something worthwhile.
For the record, we know nothing about any of this.
Wow.
What?
Whoa.
No, well, but
We're the informed Dutchmen.
well,
Don't give away our secrets.
all right.
Look until you make it.
So we know a lot about what we're going to be talking about, but we're going to interview people that know even more than we do. Even more.
Which is stunning to think about. I mean, how...
Wow, what
us we
a
know more.
breadth.
I mean, we're 23 years old. We've lived a full life already.
We've lived a lot. We've
Um,
lived a lot.
And we're also going to try to branch out a little bit because, as we know, sometimes you have to leave the bubble of West Michigan. So we'll talk a little. We'll leave the bubble on occasion to talk about things that are going on in the world and how they affect where you live.
Occasionally, we'll
Just here.
get into some Donald Trump topics.
I would, yeah. Well,
I mean, say what you want about Donald Trump, whether you're for him or whether you're against him.
it's about 50-50.
You've got to appreciate a dude in such a position of power that just handles it with
Total lack of class and
Zero-
tact of any kind.
zero class, zero tact. It's
I don't know if I appreciate that about him. That
Well-
might be one of the things I mostly don't appreciate about him whatsoever.
but the man has fun. You know, the man he has.
I
fun.
don't know. Is he having fun, though?
I don't know.
He always seems angry to me.
Yeah,
Like, I don't think he really ever intended to be... Anyways, this is...
he's a businessman though.
You know, we
we're
did
gonna
call this
be-
the career killing podcast.
It's
but
true.
anyway, yeah,
We'll be
killing
interviewing
careers.
Donald Trump down the road, almost certainly. Name drop. Donald Trump.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting one. But we do have a nice full slate already. Not really. We have a few people lined up.
We'll tell you next time.
Which is kind of weird because we don't actually have a... This is the first episode. Of
Which
our
is going
podcast.
well so far, may I add.
I would think... Yeah. I can't talk. But yeah, it is.
Maybe not. Maybe it's not going well. It doesn't really
We'll
matter.
find out.
You're still listening to us, so honestly, we don't have a lot to offer. But
No.
as we go down the line, podcast number two is going to be insane. It's going to be killer. It is going to be
Phenomenal.
phenomenal. It's going to be mind-opening,
Mind.
brain-opening.
Eye-opening is...
Eye-opening.
I think what you're doing.
Oh, that's the one.
Your eyes open.
That's the one.
So
Can
therefore-
opening, if you will.
Can of
We're going
worms.
to open up a can of worms on this bad boy, podcast number 2. And we're looking forward to diving in. What's the topic that we have on cue for podcast number 2?
Well, there's a lot on cue. I mean, I think the biggest one, honestly, is the announcement of the guests who will be
true.
appearing on our show.
Guests.
Honestly, like,
Oh,
I'm
you-
just going to geek out a little bit for a minute here
Yeah.
because I really am genuinely excited to interview these 3 people to kind of get us kicked off a little bit here. It's so exciting.
Like we're not talking about random old Marty McGee or John
McGee.
John Booth,
Who are you talking about right
It's
now?
not
I don't
just
know, you know anyone with those names.
random Jack and Jill on the street. We're not just talking about.
No, Jack and Jill, they're great.
They're great, but
But we're not gonna interview
they're
them.
you know we're talking. They're big names. They're big
Big names, but actually some big here in West Michigan, but also some that are
worldwide.
pretty well-known individuals.
Yeah.
So this should be a lot of fun. We're really excited to bring this podcast to you guys. Full disclosure, we have no idea what we're doing, so please be gentle with your comments.
Please.
Because we have fragile feelings and self-esteem issues, so yeah.
Rolling forward, you can follow us on Instagram at The Informed Dutchman. You can like us on Facebook at The Informed Dutchman, or is it The Informed Dutchman?
Well, both pages are called The Informed Dutchman Show.
The Informed Dutchman Show. So give us a like, give us a follow. We're going to be doing giveaways when we reach certain milestones of followers, so stay tuned for the dope gifts that we have lined up for you there. And we're looking forward to getting this going. We're really excited to have you along for the ride, and we'll see where this bad boy takes us. Good morning, good afternoon,
But
and good night.
When we left the movie show, you
no, night.
Right, but came the dawn, the show goes on, and I don't want to say goodnight.
Say good
Morning,
Good morning. We've talked the whole night through.
good morning, good morning to you. Morning, in the morning, it's great to stay up late. Good morning to you.
I'd be just as zippy if we was in Mississippi. Good morning. It's great to stay up late. Good morning. Good morning.